Hello, I'm going to talk about public dungeon farms. There are four basic main reasons I go into public dungeons, and so I'm going to go over those really quickly as I can to go through everything you can get in these dungeons. Number one, XP is a really good source for public dungeons. Now I'm going to focus on DLC public dungeons mainly. However, don't neglect your base game areas. You can still get a lot of XP in there, but also the skill point and group event boss, I should say, and Sky Shard are very good to get there. But I'm mainly going to cover the DLC public dungeons here. There are two in each DLC zone. So you get your skill point from killing the group event boss. You grab the Sky Shard, as well as the XP in there. So that's XP and skill point. The third benefit for doing this is a really good spot to get companions gear. Uh, I'm not sure if this was an intention or if this is just the way things are, but I have gotten quite a lot of companion gear to drop from doing public dungeons. But you do have to have your companion out. As you can see, I have a Xander out with mine, with my character here. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the collectible or reward that you can get from farming all of the rune fragments that are in each one of them. Um, each dungeon has a unique reward that you can get from farming the dungeon. And so I'm going to go over those as quickly as I can, one by one, and show you what you can get. So I am in Vvardenfell. That was the first main chapter after the base game came out. So I'm at the Forgotten Wastes door here. So the first thing that you can get out of here, if you go into your appearance here and go into the costumes, you can get what is called the Sixth House robe. And I'll preview it here. This is what it looks like. So if you get all 7 parts, these have named 7 different parts to them. You have to combine them, and then you will get the robe. Now I will mention that once you get a drop for the day, this is account wide, then you're better off going to farm a different public dungeon or doing a different activity because you're likely not going to get another part from this or what they call fragment. So I would suggest if you happen to get one from an ad or a kill a boss or something and you get a drop, you should probably go do another activity. Um, these are not curated, unfortunately, so sometimes it can take quite a while to get your collection complete. Uh, but I would recommend maybe checking traders if you're trying to finish it off. You might find that the last piece that you're trying to get after it doesn't drop for quite a while, you might find one on traders for pretty cheap. So keep that in mind. This dungeon has a unique item. Also, I have farmed it quite a bit. I have not gotten it to drop for me. However, I will tell you there is something called the Sixth House banner, or the banner of the Sixth House, or the Mournhold banner of this. I don't remember the exact name offhand, but it is a very rare drop. Um, you farm the public dungeon. I believe it has to be a Sixth House enemy. Don't quote me on that, but they did last year say that they were increasing the drops on some of these things. So you may find that you get a better drop on that. So keep that in mind. But that's the Forgotten Waste dungeon. The Nuffelting dungeon. I'm not sure how you say that. I know if you do the dungeon mission, they will actually announce that and tell you the pronunciation of it, but I don't remember it. It's been a while. But you get a non-combat pet, an exotic um, dwarven theodite, and that's what this looks like here. Again, you have to get all 7 parts to build this, and it will be a non-combat pet in your collection then. It's just a little robot that follows you around. Looks like a little R2-D2 kind of looking guy there. After Vvardenfell came out, then we go to Summerset, and there's the Carnwasten Public Dungeon in the northern Summerset area, and that reward was another non-combat pet, and that is called the big-eared ginger kitten. That might be in domestic, actually. Yep, there it is right there. There's the big-eared ginger kitten. It's just a small cat, so all you cat lovers out there, this might be something you want to try and go get. There are 7 rune box fragments out of the Carnwasten dungeon that you can get, and it will, once you collect all 7 parts, then you can combine them and get the non-combat pet from there. Also out of Summerset is the lower public dungeon called Sunhold. Not to be confused with our new zone. Solstice has a town called Sunport, so that can be a little confusing, especially since Solstice looks very much like Summerset, especially if you're going into the Alinor area. But Sunhold has the emote. It's the Psijic Globe emote. The Psijic Glow Globe. It looks like this right here. And that is what you get for getting all the runebox fragments from the Sunhold public dungeon. So you can just kind of go through and cross all these off as you work through your chapters and your public dungeons. That's how I did it pretty much. So then moving on to Northern Elsweyr, we have the Rimmen Necropolis public dungeon. The collectible from that is in the form of a non-combat pet again. And we have a grizzly. It's in the exotic one. It's the Grizzly Alfique Mummy Tabby Cat. Kind of really creepy looking undead cat. Maybe good for Halloween, I'm not sure. Coming up soon, so if you don't have this collected, this might be a good thing for you to focus on. Again, you're going to get unique parts to build the mummified Alfique Tabby Cat here. So once you get a drop, go do something else to get your parts from other dungeons. So that is another one to collect here. From the Orcrest dungeon, this is another costume. And this is the I think it actually says it better in the journal what it is. It's easier to find this stuff when you learn what it's called. There it is, the Pyrite Plague Skeever Master Robe. So then you can find it easier in your costumes when you learn what the name of it is. Then you know you got to go down to the P's. So there's the Pyrite Skeever Master robe here, and that's what that looks like. So it's got dragons on the shoulder there, as well as on the back pieces. And it's got a green theme here, so with a little bit of a skull head on the front there. So if you find that might fit your costumes there, maybe look into collecting that one. So after Northern Elsweyr, then we go to Western Skyrim. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because the Western Skyrim ones is where they started having the fragments be named the same thing, essentially. Um, Newtonkarst, if you go into the journal and the achievements and go into Greymoor, this one actually has the 7 parts listed here. So this is one of the last ones that had unique pieces to it, where they have the mask, the leggings, the gloves, and you collect this to get the cartographer's costume. And so what you can do for that is you go into your collections and you go to your appearance and then you can go in and look at the, is it the costume? I'll have to double check that. Masterfield Cartographer. So maybe it's in the M's. So you go into collections, you go to appearance and go down to the M's. There it is. So there's your cartographer's costume. It looks like a backpacker. It might be good for like an overland crafter kind of farming, role-playing kind of thing. Um, but that's what you do for getting Newtonkarst. And this next one, it was one of the most difficult ones for me to get. You have to collect 50 fragments from the Labyrinthian in Western Skyrim. The other public dungeon I should mention is in Blackreach Greymoor Caverns to get the cartographer's costume. But the Western Skyrim, you collect, and I still have these in my inventory. I wanted to save this for the video so that I could show you. You get stone husk fragments for killing ads in the Labyrinthian. And what happens is you have to have all 50 of these. While you are collecting this, you either want to have this on your character. I would recommend keeping them in your banker so that you can do this on any character and then just drop them in your bank and you can keep track that way. And you don't lose a track by having 1 fragment on this character, 2 fragments on this character. I would recommend loading them into your bank and keeping them in one central location. But once you combine these, then it combines it like this, and then you get a combat dummy. So I'm going to travel to my house and I will place the dummy so you can see exactly what it looks like. I'm going to go down to where my dummies are so that I can place it in a good spot down there where they're all located. So I'm going to go down into my dummy dojo. Let's see where to put him. Maybe I'll put him here on the side. So you get a target stone husk. And he's just like all of these here. He does not give trial dummy buffs, but I'm going to set him right here. Good idea whenever you're setting target dummies out, always face them away so that you can proc things like backstabber and stuff like that, or the assassin's passives for getting crit chance for having them face away. But that is what this dummy looks like, and that's one of the best prizes, I think, for farming public dungeons. You get an actual target dummy. So that is a stone husk. And again, this does not give you any trial boss buffs, but that's what it looks like when it dies. And then it will respawn. So that's the way that looks. So that's Western Skyrim. After Western Skyrim, we have Blackwood, and then the Zenithar Abbey fragments. There was 50 of those as well, and I actually have that collected and placed on my boat. I will go out here and show you exactly what that looks like. You get a replica of the Zenithar Abbey door, and that is right here. When you open it up, that's what it looks like when it unlocks, and then you have to hit it again to open it. So you can place that wherever you want in your room, and then you have to lock it again, just like it does in the actual public dungeon. Okay, and then the other public dungeon is the Silent Halls. So you can track what this does by going here, and you get the Thrafi debutante gown. So that's another costume. So you can go in here to the collections, the appearance costumes, and it's in the tees. And there's the gown. It's a black looking gown, so if you're looking for like a dark looking costume, maybe on a female character, I don't know, who knows. That's a gown. So you have to get 50 scaly cloth scraps out of the Silent Hall Blackwood public dungeon. Again, take all your characters through there, grab the skill point each day. Let's say you have 10 characters and you're doing a farm. So each day you do a new character, and then eventually at the end of your 10 days, each one of those is going to have a sky shard, a skill point, and then maybe the way shrines around it, and a couple of the overland sky shards. Really good way to passively just build your skill points across your entire roster of characters, and you're working on an overland achievement like that. Okay, so moving on from Blackwood, going to High Isle. Now this is where they started making both public dungeon fragments combine into making one reward, basically. And so in High Isle, you collected, maybe it's listed in the achievements still. You go to High Isle, and there it is right there. You've got Coral Hodge Moda lures and Coral Hodge Moda decoys. And that creates the Coral Hodge Moda non-combat pet. So the decoys, I believe, dropped from the Crimson Coin, and then the lures dropped from the Haven Bay. I may have that backwards. I apologize. It doesn't specify in the pet thing there. But there we go. I'll show you how the Coral Hodge Moda looks like. And that's that little guy there. Looks like one of the little turtles from Dreadsail Reef. Also, you can find them in various areas of High Isle as well. Moving along from High Isle, then we went to Telvanni Peninsula, and there are two public dungeons. One of them is in Gorn here, and then the other is in Apocrypha, the Underweave. And what you got from this chapter was the squirrel pet. It's the great oaks from Little Acorns. So you got the Lost Grot oak acorns from the Gorn public dungeon in Telvanni Peninsula, and then you had to get the unearthed Valenwood seedlings, from the Underweave public dungeon in Apocrypha, and that would give you the non-combat pet, the great, the grot oak squirrel, and that is the Great Oaks from Little Acorns achievement. So this is what your non-combat pet will be if you collect those. Okay, so after Telvanni, then we went to Westweald. And there are two public dungeons here, the left wheel trading post, as well as the Silorn public dungeon. And this one, we got a memento. I think I'm going to have to look that one up because I don't remember specifically what it's called. But you can go to Gold Road here. And once you go into the exploration, there it is right here. You're going to get Echo of the Abolisher memento. And you got Remnants of Deception and the Remnants of Cruelty. Remnants of Cruelty, as you can see in the writing here, dropped from the left wheel public dungeon, while the Remnants of Deception were found in Silorn. So you can keep track of where you're at here in the achievements area, and then once you get those, Echo of Abolisher memento, so then you go into the collections and you go to your mementos and you go to the Echoes of the Abolisher, and you can use it to see what it looks like. I'll just assign it. Actually, I already have it on my... it's easier to see if you put it out here. So there's the sword. It kind of tears open a Oblivion portal, and then it disappears. So that is the memento that you get from that. And then, right now, the only public dungeon we have in Solstice is the Daedric Grotto. And what you get from collecting fragments here is a skill style. And it is a soul trap. So you come here and you come down to soul trap, and you get the Carmine red soul trap. And what you can do is you can again check your achievements. You go into Seasons of the Worm Cult. Oh wait, I'm wrong. Completely got that wrong. Eviscerate. This is a vampire skill. So you cannot use this unless you're on a vampire. This will turn Eviscerate into a purple style, and you get Phials of Tainted Blood. So it's still a skill style, just the wrong skill. Eviscerate is a violet purple. So let me get on a vampire real quickly, and I can show you what it looks like. Since I'm doing a visual video here, may as well do that. I will get on a guy that I know still has vampire. Let me get on this character here. I will load my skill here, and he actually has Eviscerate as the spammable. So I'll get on the skill here into my vampire skill line, and there's Eviscerate as the base morph, and there's the purple right there. So that's what you get. So when you use this skill, you just run over to where there's an ad or something that I can actually kill. I have a visitor. Yeah, you're gonna help. Figures whenever I want to kill something, there's nothing nearby. Okay, here's a Deerzog. So here we go. There's Eviscerate. It's got that little purple streak to it. Hopefully you saw that. Maybe I can go inside here and there'll be something to get. There should be. Okay, so here's another spider. So you can see I'm swatting at it and it's got that purple streak to it. It's not extremely noticeable, but it is a different what it looks like than normal. I'll put the skill back on normal so you can see what it normally looks like. I'll put it to the default color. So it was purple and now you're going to see it's got kind of a red, almost nothing to it skill. Put that back on purple. And I'll go hit this other spider here. And it's got that purple stream to it. Just something you can collect to increase your rewards in the game. But I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting or helpful, then check out my channel for other farming stuff. I'll link the playlist for farming and all that stuff. I have several different playlists on my YouTube channel. If you go onto my channel, go down to my created playlists, check out all my organized Elder Scrolls Online content there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.